students, in our previous video we have discussed till question number 20 of chapter 3. So now we will discuss from question number 21. When you apply the brakes, a bicycle stops and the rims of its wheel become hot. Explain the reason. It is due to friction between the brakes and the rims of the wheel that it becomes hot. Number 22. The eraser gets smaller and smaller as you use it more and more. Explain the reason. It gets smaller as we rub with the eraser. This is because of friction. Friction causes wear and tear of surfaces rubbed against each other, even producing heat. Number 23. List 3 ways of reducing friction. 3 ways of reducing friction are by making the surface smooth, by the use of lubricants, by the use of ball bearings. Number 24. It is difficult to open an ink pot with greasy or oily hands. Explain. When the hands are oily, then the oil acts as lubricant and reduces the friction. As the friction force is less, it is difficult to get grip of the ink pot and it becomes difficult to open it. Number 25. It is difficult to walk on a wet road. Explain. It becomes very difficult to walk on a slippery road because of the fact that on a slippery road, the friction is much less and we cannot exert a backward action force on slippery ground, which helps us to move ahead. Number 26. Give 3 examples to illustrate that friction is a necessary evil. The 3 examples to illustrate that friction is a necessary evil are: if friction were absent, we won't be able to walk. Friction is necessary to burn a matchstick. It is due to friction that we can write on a board by a chalk. Number 27. Define static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction. The maximum force exerted by a surface on a body so long as it remains stationary is called the force of static friction. The minimum force required to keep the body moving over a surface such that it moves equal distances in equal intervals of time is called the force of sliding friction. The minimum force required to roll a body on a surface is called the force of rolling friction. Number 28. Arrange the following in descending order of magnitude: static friction, sliding friction and rolling friction. So, on the basis of the magnitude, it will be sliding friction, rolling friction and static friction. Number 29. This is our last question. A body needs a force F1 just to start motion on a surface, a force F2 to continue its motion and a force F3 to roll on the surface. What is the static friction, sliding friction and the rolling friction? State whether F2 is equal, less than or greater than F1 and F3. So F1 means static friction, F2 means sliding friction, F3 is rolling friction. So F1 is greater than F2, greater than F3. So F2 is less than F1 but greater than F3. So actually F2 is smaller than F1 and F3 is smaller than F2. And question number 10. Name the type of force which acts in the following cases. A coolie lifts a luggage. A bicycle comes to rest slowly when the cyclist stops paddling. A stone falls from a roof. A comb rubbed with silk attracts bits of paper. A string hangs with a load. A horse moves a cart. A magnet attracts an iron pin. A boy opens a door. An apple falls from a tree. A man rows a boat. So the answers are as follows. A will be muscular force. B frictional force. C gravitational force. D electrostatic force. E force of tension. F muscular force. G magnetic force. H muscular force. I gravitational force. J muscular force. So here students, we have finished chapter 3 of physics. Thank you.